I know there's a lot of like discussion if like Instagram players can play their stuff. We talk a lot about working with brands, for example, but in reality, we are working with people.
Hi Ville, thanks for being here at this beautiful place and in Vienna. We are here at the Europe's biggest guitar camp. It's called RockMe Vienna, featuring VILLE TIKKANEN, all the way
Hello.
from Finland.
Hello, it's good to be here.
You are one of the teachers here, right? So what are you teaching?
I did a couple of things actually. On the first or the second day, I did a workshop or a lesson on social media, how to approach creating content, how to stay consistent, and kind of like what the reality of making content is. Today we did a workshop or slash a lesson on tone creation. So creating these modern metal tones for basically live recording. So kind of like this professional, ready to go tones. And probably we'll be touching on riff creation, kind of like my approaches for starting a riff. My riffs are very I would say chord based. So it revolves a lot around chords. So kind of like my approaches to chords and, writing riffs and kind of how I look at that whole thing.
Yeah, it's a very cool vibe having you here because as many people know or might know, we have artists like Herman Lee, the iconic Andy Timmons, and all those great other people. And then for the more modern metal stuff, you can take care of this. And it seems like that there are a bunch of guys who are very interested in this kind of topic. And I noticed that, of course, there are many guests here who are used to play real tube amps, but want to get into the new technology stuff like the Quad Cortex or the Mini Cortex, the latest version or the latest product from Neo DSP. And it's very cool for them that you are showcasing them how to build a tone. And on top of that, there's another aspect where you are kind of known for, and people ask you all the time about your social media appearance, right?
Yeah, that's one of the I think main topics that people want to know about. Yeah, like you said, I used the Quad Cortex. I was kind of surprised that no other players had a Quad Cortex here.
Or even didn't know about it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like I kind of live in this reality where it seems that everybody kind of knows this neural DSP and the modeling world, but it's really cool to kind of bring that aspect to it. And since I also use like real pedals, I had that as well as a part of my workshop. So I'm kind of like between these analog and digital worlds. So I really do enjoy both, and bringing that here makes a lot of sense for me.
Yeah, and it was very interesting to see last night when you performed on stage that you were the only artist with a laptop on stage. I mean, these days it's quite common in the modern metal scene. Every other artist had like a backing track from their smartphone, which is totally fine. And you came with the whole band experience. And as you are using your Quad Cortex, you have always the same sound, and you definitely saw that all the people in the audience were like, okay, this sounds massive, although it's just coming from a laptop, but the combination of a laptop and a modern backing track and your sound out of the Quad Cortex, they were stunned. They couldn't believe that it sounded so massive. And I think someone like Andy Timmons or Vivaldi said this was one of the greatest tones at the whole night, because it was so balanced and well prepared, and also gave you kudos for your playing abilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can confirm that Ville is not just an Instagram guitar player. He is really able to play his stuff.
Yeah, I kind of try to and take pride in playing the stuff live because it's a whole nother aspect of this. And I know there's a lot of like discussion if like Instagram players can play their stuff like actually and live, because it's a whole nother thing to be in an environment like this. And, you know, there's always these variables where the stage sound may not be perfect and you never really know how the room is gonna sound like. So I really took the time to make the tone. And I mean, that's the tone that I use all the time. So I have taken the time and now I can use it everywhere. And like you said, we had the tracks from the laptop, and those are very well mixed tracks. And, you know, I try to make my tones kind of complement those tracks because the tone is so, I would say, well produced, kind of to be live ready, mix ready. So it was really cool to hear that people like Andy Timmons really enjoyed the tone. And I know he's not a progressive metal player, but like coming from him and Angel Vivaldi, like I've known about those guys for so long. So coming from them, it means a lot, and it gives me the feeling that I'm doing the right things.
Absolutely, yeah. And one thing to mention in your videos on your Instagram is that you're not just having your backing track and your live performance. You also have the sound of your camera, so you can actually hear the string noises, right?
Yeah. That's kind of a thing that I've done from the beginning. For some reason, I like the sound of the strings, you know, like the crispy sounds in the room. And it kind of gives you this aspect of realism to the playing. So at the beginning, I noticed that, okay, people really like this thing. And, you know, there's a lot of talking about like faking your playing and, you know, miming, which is, you know, I won't go into that too much, but I really like the fact that it actually is live, that I do those videos and kind of have the string noise. Sometimes I actually like record the string noise with a microphone, like with a separate microphone, just to have, you know, even that last bit of like flexibility on blending those
That's cool.
together.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem that way, that there's actually like time taken to get that really good, but it is what I do.
Yeah, that's very cool to hear. I mean, it sounds like a lot of guys they need to justify their abilities to play the guitar, right?
Yeah, I feel it because of the social media kind of pressure as well, because there's this, on the other hand, the perfection aspect that people kind of expect that you do the things perfectly. It's kind of this unspoken or even spoken rule that people kind of have that they expect. But, you know, I just want to keep it like organic in a way that it actually sounds like I'm playing. Like the takes that I post are obviously like the good takes, but I still try to, you know, keep some of those small imperfections as a part of the performance because they are a part of it.
Yeah. Not every take needs to be perfect on point. It's got way more personality that way.
Exactly. And one of the issues, I guess, with this is that when I record my videos, I only listen to the guitar because that's what my videos are, only the guitar. So you kind of get like hypersensitive to listening to those mistakes, which may not even be mistakes, because usually, well, not usually, but sometimes I feel like I record a bunch of takes. I feel like none of them were good, or some of them had mistakes or whatever, but the next day I listen, they all sound the same. So you kind of get hyperfixated on that moment, but you kind of have to like remember that it's human. it's part of the, doing music and playing music that it's imperfect.
Yeah, and I assume recording the take and while filming is way easier for the post-processing because you don't have to edit anything or snip anything. You can make sure that what is actually played is what you actually see, and so there's not pre-recorded stuff on top of a filmed version of your performance, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I want to keep them. It's a full take, no edits. Like, I don't edit the audio tracks. It just is what happened. Of course, I do like the EQ and things like that to kind of do the last 10% to make it sound good, but and possibly tweak the tone depending on the riff. And usually it's about like dialing in less gain, because I feel you achieve the clarity when you don't have too much gain and you play properly, But yeah, that's my approach. I don't really want to edit anything in terms of the take or the video kind of itself, what's happening.
Yeah, and I mean you can shoot another take until you're satisfied with what you performed.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. And that's what I do always.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think that kind of teaches you how to, I mean, it shows kind of like what mistakes you're making because you're recording yourself. You kind of have to analyze what's happening. And even though that's kind of like, it's not the fun part to, getting fixated on the take, but I have really found that doing that has developed me as a player as well, because you see your take, you hear the DI, and, if there are, mistakes and whatever, you will notice. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way, because it develops you, but it also makes you kind of critical. Yeah.
That's a good point. And when it comes to Instagram, how did you even start with your account, or maybe why did you even start from the ground up?
I mean, I've talked about this in a couple of sessions, but the initial idea for me was to have a place for my ideas. Basically, I had a lot of riff ideas, a lot of like parts of a song, but they didn't have a full song or like a context. So it kind of became my kind of my portfolio. I just wanted to have a place to have all those ideas, and to go back and okay, I did this riff like 2 years ago maybe, and now I have a song it could use, or I could fit it in. So just to have like a cool place for my ideas, and I love the visual stuff as well in addition to music. So that's kind of what I need, I feel. So that kind of combines both of those aspects, because I love, shooting videos, taking pictures, stuff like that. So the full creative experience for me.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that it's not in your case, it's not just about the music, it's about the whole package. I mean, filming yourself is a whole other story than just record something, right?
Yeah.
So you're not just a musician, you're a content creator, which means you need to be aware of how to film yourself and setting everything up with your camera, your lighting, your post-production, color grading, everything, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like you have to wear many hats, so to speak. So like you said, I need to edit my videos, and first of all, do the lighting as well as I can, because we talked about this later, that the lighting is such an important part of, filming videos. Then you have to, think about the composition, what looks good, what things are on focus, which things are not. And, that's like a whole one level. And then the recording itself, you need to know how to record, how to play properly to a metronome, the editing, the, like you said, the color grading as well. And then like understanding the social media part as well, and your branding in a way, how you present yourself, how the algorithms work. So there's a lot of things that you need to know, and I feel like there's so many good players nowadays. So kind of the playing aspect is, you need to have that, but if you don't have the ability to do the other stuff properly, it's very, very hard to, get yourself out there.
So it's not just about presenting your art in an audio way, but also in a visual way.
At least for me, it is. Of course, it's fair that not everybody likes doing videos and enjoy doing music, and that's completely fine. But for me and what I kind of want to see myself doing, I need to have those things in check. And, then there's the working with brands, communicating, how to present yourself. There's so many aspects you need to kind of know, even if you don't make content, because you need to be able to promote yourself.
So as an official Cordial artist, you need to present yourself from the best way possible, right? That's what you signed for.
That's what I'm trying to do, yeah. And the best way and the most kind of like genuine way as well, because I feel that when people are being themselves, they're being genuine, real, that's when, the relatability comes in. So, working with you guys, that was one of the things why I really like and initially liked, working and, talking to each other, because we are like normal people and we have similar interests and we are genuine people. So that's a really important thing for me.
Absolutely. And when it comes to audio and video, did you learn all this craftsmanship at university, sir?
No, absolutely not. I have learned many other things in university, but not any music or art
Okay,
related.
so it's learning by doing, right?
Learning by doing, exactly. And you kind of need to have this will to experiment and not know what you're doing just to get started. So you kind of learn by doing, like you said, and it takes time, and it takes time to find your kind of approach for things. But yeah, for me, it's all about like learning by doing, because on the music side, I don't know much music theory. So a lot of it's just like finding things that I personally like.
Okay. And so having a look back at one of your first videos, are you like cringing when watching this, or do you feel like, okay, this has been several years ago, and now I improved since then, and that's a very cool journey?
I think it's the latter, because, well, at some point, obviously, I might have thought that, okay, this is a bad video, because now I know better. But I feel like if I hadn't done that video, I probably wouldn't be here. Like you said, it's a part of the journey. So you kind of have to look at it as a reflection of that time period. And, that those were the things you could do back then. And now that you see your progress, that means you have progressed. So kind of embracing that as well. Yeah.
It was funny when it was yesterday when Angel Vivaldi said, all the guys who are right-handed, please flip your guitar, pretend you are left-handed, and then try to play something. This is how a beginner feels like, and now turn it back. So there you have the exact comparison between a bloody beginner versus you. Yeah. So,
yeah, exactly. It's a really cool, like that is how it feels. You can't really even coordinate between your hands. So that's when you notice like how far you have actually come, which is really cool. And sometimes we need to be reminded of that, just to, appreciate the work we have put in.
Yeah. And I think what I try to say is don't be shy of releasing something, because you need to start somewhere. It doesn't matter if you're an expert or a beginner. Just enjoy the journey, release something, and if you feel like it's not good, then you can analyze it. What is it about your video or your playing which you don't like? And for the next video or for the next piece of content, you will get better, and this is how you can improve for the next several years. And after that, you are called Ville, kind of.
But
Yeah.
that's usually how it goes. Yeah, and it could be as small as like fixing the angle of your softbox.
Mhm.
That could be an improvement between like videos, like 1 or 2 videos, because it can make a difference. And when you start kind of noticing that, okay, this actually looks better, like that is an improvement, and you should always be happy about that, because progress isn't always like super big steps at a time. They can be really small, but that means you are moving forward.
Mhm. Yeah. So moving forward, do any other creators are reaching out to you and say, "Hey, do you want to collab? What's going on, bro?"
I do have those. The thing with my schedule is I always have something
In the pipeline.
in the pipeline, and I'm working with a lot of brands. We do a lot of collaborations, so there's usually a lot of things in the pipeline for like an X amount of time. So of course I want to do those, but sometimes I just can't because I have a lot of things to focus on. But you know, it's a community, so when I have a good chance to make that happen, then it's a good time. But I always have to kind of do the things I need to do and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's worth mentioning that when you're starting out as a content creator, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, or any other platform, and building a community with your peers, then maybe have a look at who are your potential peers. I mean, just starting out and reaching to someone like Herman Lee, "Hey Herman, what's up?" Maybe this is not the best idea, but you can see who is on your kind of level, who is experiencing the same journey with you, and then you can reach maybe out to people like them.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a thing where when you are a good human being, that takes you such a long way.
That's the fundamental.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, like knowing the community you kind of work in, it helps a lot, understanding what's going on, what kind of stuff people are doing, so try to have a sense of that, but also like good relationship with people. Even if you don't like make videos together, you can still like have a good time and, just to say hi and dude, I loved your recent video and whatever, just, be a good person and kind of like respect your peers.
And helping each other out.
Yeah, for sure.
Could be anything simple like a quick tip or any service or whatever, but being useful and supportive within the community get you way further than doing everything on your own and stuck somewhere. Yeah,
exactly. Those kind of tips can be, like I said, really small, but they can be very helpful. Like I have had people ask me, I have asked tips from others, like all sorts of things. Like, okay, so you have a really cool lighting, you have a cool camera, your quality is really good. What kind of steps are you taking? Like things like that. And that also allows you to, get your stuff out there in a higher quality.
Yeah. On top of that, you have a very cool website with a lot of information about that, right?
Yeah. I run that as well. And through my webpage, I also try to help other people when I possibly can and offer tips and, like I share my tabs, like and you can learn everything I write. But yeah, that's one of my platforms as well.
Yeah. Tabs and presets.
Presets, yeah.
Yeah. And some lessons.
Yeah, I
recently.
have done this kind of like consulting type of lessons where we talk about social media, how you can like the things we talk about here, maybe on a more personal level, but like maybe if I can help you out with something, like make your social media page a bit better, or how it is to work with brands, for example, and like very concrete and hopefully useful tips for
Yeah.
others as well.
What is the biggest tip you can give youngsters out there?
I mean, there could be a lot, but I think most of all, create things you would like to see and create, like follow that feeling you have, like, okay, this sounds cool to me, this looks cool to me, like follow that feeling. But at the same time, just, be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talk a lot about working with brands, for example, but in reality, we are working with people. So you should never forget the kind of the human side of things, because people, if you are not a good person, they will definitely remember. It's kind of like non-music or non-content related, but if you don't have that in check, it will be like keeping you down. You are not able to take those chances to make cool things with cool people.
Yeah. And I mean, in my opinion, at least, it's not just about having all this great equipment and collaborations and endorsements and stuff. This shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be enjoy the journey, make music, spread the world, and just have fun. And if you improve as time went by, people are going to notice you. People are going to recommend you. Funny enough, that's how we got in touch in the first place. I saw you on my Instagram feed a lot of times, and I didn't knew you in person, but I saw that a friend Kenji is following you and you following him. So I asked Kenji, "Hey, who is this guy, and what do you think about him?" And yeah, he said, "Hey, let's get together and connecting with each other," and then turns out pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is a healthy way to get in touch with each other, right?
Yeah, for sure, because I knew Kenji. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember when we first interacted, but since I met him like 2 years ago, I've known he's such a cool guy. He's such a nice guy. And if he, introduces me to someone he thinks is a good person and, like a genuine person, that's like a healthy connection, kind of. So it also builds trust. And I could sense that, okay, there's something cool here because Kenji recommends these guys and he likes you. And so it felt very, very good.
That's cool. And I mean, can you maybe give some other examples? How did you reach out to someone like Mayones?
With Mayones, I've played their guitars for around 10 years, I guess. So in the first place, it was like in 2016, 2015. Me and my bandmate, we ordered these custom shop Duvels. And it actually might have been before that when we met one of the distributors from Finland who at the time, brought Mayones to Finland. So that was kind of the first contact was with them. So we kind of got this some sort of endorsement with them because we kind of we liked each other. We had a good vibe, and I knew a music store owner who knew us very well. He knew the distributor very very well. So that was kind of the first interaction, and we went with this kind of endorsement for a while. But then when my content kind of started getting bigger, that's when I guess we started working a bit more closely, doing some things together, and they also started to notice me a bit more because I was kind of like a small fish at the time. But that was pretty similar
Okay.
story. But also, I think recently, with Bare Knuckle, for example, I just like told them that I really like what you guys do. And like I had the bare knuckle juggernaut in my first duvel, like so I had played it for 10 years, so it was kind of organic. So we got to talking and decided that okay, let's work together. So it was kind of like an organic start. So that's usually a beneficial thing when there is something kind of like I'm already loving this product, so it makes a lot of sense. And like I told you, I had cordial cables in my closet for years.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't even realize how many I had.
Yeah.
But like I had known cordial forever. So it was very natural. And for some cases, brands have also approached me, to discuss and see what we can do. And I've had, you know, very cool brands asking me to, have an endorsement deal, but it wasn't, for example, possible at the time for some reason. But usually there's some kind of connection before that, or they reach out to me. It kind of depends, but usually one of those ways.
Yeah. In a very natural way.
It is a very natural way.
So maybe just focusing on what you are doing, what you can bring to the table, and like I said, just enjoy creating content, use it as your own album, so to speak, and then there you have it.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like endorsements have never been like a goal in themselves. They are kind of like side products in a way, because I've always like wanted to keep doing what I love. And if something cool comes by, then that's awesome. But never do it for the deals, for the gear. Of course, it's cool to play cool gear, but you need to love the craft first. And the same goes for money. If you do this only for money, which is like, this isn't a rich thing to do. So you have to do it for the craft.
Yeah. I mean, in general, you can argue that you don't even need a endorsement in any way. Maybe there could be some ways, like I'm a touring musician playing arenas. I need like 10 guitars, so otherwise I'm not able to tour. Or maybe like strings or even cables. Yeah. Then it could make sense to tell yourself, okay, I need some kind of discount or promotion or whatever. But other than that shouldn't be the goal in the first place. Yeah, I think I just wanted to echo what you are saying.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, for me, if it helps me somehow, if it allows me to do the thing I want to do, for example, have strings, whatever you need to make that craft happen, then it's good. But it's never really about taking an endorsement or endorsing a brand just to endorse a brand. But if there is if it allows you to do what you want to do, then it's a good approach. But like you said, you don't really need them. It's not like a necessity.
Yeah. I think I was telling that because I get a lot of requests since I'm in charge of artist relation at Cordial Cables. I get a lot of emails from people. They are like, hello, ladies and gentlemen, like this, greatest start ever. It's very easy to find out who to contact, and then they're like, I need cables. can I have an endorsement? No, you can. And mostly they have like their 400 followers on Instagram. Maybe they don't even have Instagram. And I'm like, okay, hey, at least you can ask. It's I totally get that, but it's definitely the wrong approach. I need something from you. Please send me everything for free. No, I won't. I'm so sorry. Maybe next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like you get those so much, and a lot of brands get those messages. Like sometimes can sound that it's like a copy paste, but just to replace amps with cables and send it to you. But like it's good to remember that endorsements also are like mutual deals in a way that you also have to do the work. You have to be able to carry your weight to this thing, because if a brand sends you something, okay, what are you bringing to the table? It should be like a win-win situation in a way. So asking for free stuff is probably very normal, but I wouldn't go with that at all.
Yeah. So good advice from a real professional, right?
I mean, you're the professional, but
That's what they say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Funny enough, about this email you mentioned, I recently received one of those AI generated emails, and it was like, I really love your, and then specific product.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I use it all the time, blah blah blah.
Oh wow.
And I was asking him, what do you mean with specific product?
Oh wow. That's like,
Yeah,
but that's such a good
his
example.
answer was really, really great. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify it.
Okay, so yeah.
And then he wrote something about cables. Yeah, it didn't turn out. I don't know.
I can imagine.
Okay,
Yeah, I have had similar like occasions where I won't name any brands, but they have sent me a message with another person's name. Like,
Okay.
hi, this and this name.
Hi, Andy Timmons.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not even you didn't even read the first sentence to fix it. Like it had another person's name. It shows immediately that okay, this is a copy paste thing. So at least read your emails that you're sending. So
and maybe the first contact could be in person. That could be another advice, or it can be beneficial. And events like the Guitar Summit or NAMM show can be useful. And then just hit up the guys at their booth and just introduce yourself, and don't force anything. Just have a great conversation with them and tell them how and why you like their products, and how you and how are you using them already, which could be a great point to start with.
Exactly. And it doesn't really even have to be about products. It can just be like hanging out and being a good person, and just seeing if we like similar things, and just meet and connect. And sometimes it takes time for things to develop, so it's completely fine as well just to connect and be the good person you are. So you never know what it leads to. I've had many occasions where I've met a person, we got really along, but it wasn't until like maybe a year or two later we decided to do something, and one of the reasons was that we became friends in the first place. So you don't have to be like very aggressive either with if you want the endorsements. Just let things happen naturally as well.
Are there any upcoming projects or current projects you are allowed to talk? No, it's all top secret.
It's top secret.
Yeah, off camera. It's just
classified stuff. It's like the Area 51 type of thing. Like the government doesn't allow you to hear that. But I mean, I have to think, because I have a lot of things happening. Well, first of all, I want to release more music. That's kind of
as a musician.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
and I want to have more things to play live as well,
Mhm.
new tracks as well. What else? I have something pretty cool coming with Bad Cat amps.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
so they have this, maybe this video will be out after that, but they just released the analog cab simulator, which we saw at the NAMM show.
So cool.
And it's
So cool.
actually, it is out, but now they're kind of starting to roll out those kind of like promotion stuff. So we're doing something together regarding that.
Hold on. It's an analog load box. You don't need anything else. You can just plug it into your output from your tube amp, and you're good to go. So no extra electricity needed or something, and it works really, really well.
Yeah, it's a really cool product because it doesn't, like you said, it's passive, I guess, so
Yeah.
you don't need any power cables.
Yeah.
And because it's an analog thing, it doesn't have any IRs, for example. It utilizes, I think, different filters to, emulate that sound, the cab sound and the cab feel that they are going for. So it's a really cool invention in a way. You can really shape the tone, but it has this very cool Bad Cat tone to it.
We were at the headquarter of Bad Cat, and John showed you a classic Bad Cat amp, and you were playing with it. And then he switched the amp, and the amp was plugged into this analog load box out to a monitor speaker.
Yeah.
And you didn't even notice a difference in terms of how the cab is reacting, right?
Yeah, exactly. They told me that, okay, we'll be switching to the monitor now, but I forgot it instantly. Like, I was thinking like, oh, this is a cab I'm playing, because it felt like a cab and it had this kind of like a real cab feel to it. So it was really cool. Yeah, it sounded amazing from just like the monitors already. So
That I was also blown away. Like wow, it really impressed me, since I'm into the nitty gritty of load boxes. There's so many out there, and yeah. Other than that, I would stay tuned for more informations and more news for Ville, since there are a lot of great stuff coming.
yes.
This year or next year we will see.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of cool things. So
Yeah.
you know about some of them, but
Yeah.
we will be informing the people as the time goes on.
Speaking of equipment, what's the most important aspect for you for choosing your equipment?
Wow, that's a big question actually. I mean, for me it's quite simple in a way, because I just need a good guitar. Here I have the, my Duval with Evertune, bare knuckle pickups, stuff like that. So an instrument that, helps me deliver what I want to deliver, first of all. And since I played the concert yesterday, the Evertune helped me so much because I didn't really need to tune or anything. But I mean, the most important aspect, I actually have to think about this.
Yeah, maybe reliability.
Yeah, that's the thing, I would say. Like reliability, and it kind of helps me to be inspired and, create the things that I want to create. That it's reliable, I can take it out to wherever I go. But ultimately, since we talked about the, your doing your craft and loving your craft, that's kind of the end goal in a way. And, I love different kinds of gear. It keeps me, inspired when I can get to try cool pedals, cool amps, cool guitars, like different things. So keeping those kind of like spices in your life in that sense, try new things, be open to new things, but also, like we said, have the gear that allows you to be inspired and you can rely on.
Yeah, and it's maybe worth mentioning that gear does not need to break the bank Not everyone can afford a great custom shop Mayones, for
Exactly.
sure. But maybe when starting out, use what you can afford. Make sure that it is reliable, and don't stress about not having the greatest tube amps. You don't need them. You don't need them in the first place. You should be able to create music on a budget as well. It's the baseline, and from that on, you can invest later on in the game to more expensive gear, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good point to, go back to, because I started with my phone. I started with it was a Line 6 pod, like the rack version.
Oh yeah.
I had that one. And some, like, even earlier, I had some amps and stuff like that. But I really had a very basic, like, setup when I started making the videos. And it definitely hasn't been the case like that, like, I started with the gear that I have now. And, make the most out of what you have. And when you can maybe improve something, do it. But, like, you can do so much with just the phone, and, with the decent audio interface and, like I said, phone camera. So let that progress as well over time. So you don't need to get everything figured out at once.
You can start today, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly. And it shouldn't be like a limitation that I don't have, like you said, the best gear. So that means I cannot start. And that really isn't the case. You should start. And those who actually start, that is usually the most difficult step. So it will, like, starting out is the thing that will allow you to get to where you want to. If you don't take that step, you will never get there.
yeah, and stick to it, consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And allow yourself to be imperfect. You're not going to be happy with everything you post. It's not going to be the perfect thing. It's never, for me at least, but it's the thing. You tried your best at that time with those resources you had. You made the most out of it and post it, focus on to the next one, and keep doing what you're doing.
That's so cool, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure people can reach out to you on Instagram, and you maybe you will respond. But
I try to
yeah.
respond to everything I get. Sometimes they get lost, so simply I don't see them. But feel free to ask whatever. That's what I try to tell here as well, that, like, the people who participate in RockMe Vienna, they can just send me a message if there's something that is on your mind about a workshop. So same goes for everyone. I try to help, but of course if there's a lot of messages, then it's hard to handle, which is kind of natural, but I do my best.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ville.
Thanks so much, man.
And we see you soon.
We will.
Yeah. In certain in different environments.
Environments,
and,
yes.
With new stuff.
New stuff and new things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very cool. Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned,
out there,
everyone.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.